Hello and welcome to another edition of Talking Title with Bob the Title Guy. I am, of course, your host, Bob Gledkowski, the Title Guy. And today I want to talk about easements. I do have a continuing education class for realtors on easements and encroachments. So if you're interested in that, just let me know. I'll be happy to come to your office and go over that. And you'll get continuing education credit for your yearly continuing ed. So what is an easement? An easement is defined as an interest in land owned by another person, consisting in the right to use or control the land or an area above or below it for a specific limited purpose, such as to cross it for access to a public road. So some examples of easements would be an easement for ingress and egress to get to and from a property, public utilities, electric, gas, fiber internet, things like that are utilities. Shared driveways, shared septics, those would be examples of what could be an easement. So there's two types of easements, two basic types of easements. We call one an easement appurtenant, which benefits one parcel of land and burdens another. So one parcel is called a servient parcel. That is the easement or the parcel that gives up the easement or grants the easement. And then there's the dominant tenement or dominant parcel, which benefits from the easement. There's also an easement in gross, and examples of that would be your electric easements, your utility easements, gas, internet, stuff like that. So with an easement, there are it breaks down into four different types of easements. One is the express easement, which is created by a reservation in a deed or other conveyance, quitclaim deed, an easement itself, a shared driveway agreement, shared well or septic agreement. That would be one way to convey that easement. The other three are created by law, unfortunately. There's what we call an implied easement, which is just that. It's implied because you need use of the land. There's an easement by necessity. So Michigan says that no parcel of land can be landlocked. So if you need access to a parcel and you can't get it, you can sue for an easement by necessity. And then of course there's a prescriptive easement, which is one of the most dirty types of easements there are. Again, a lawsuit needed for that. And I can go into more detail on those, but I don't think this short video is the time for that. How to create an easement? First of all, contact an attorney. I will never suggest anyone who doesn't have a thorough knowledge of the industry even try to create an easement. If you're a property owner, please contact an attorney. Have them guide you through that process so it's done properly. The worst thing you want to do is create an easement that is incorrect. It will just open you to more problems and possible lawsuits. The attorney will likely start with a survey. You'll want to describe the actual parcel or part of the land that is in that easement itself. You don't want to give up, if you're giving an easement, you don't want to give up more land than you need to. What's in an easement? So you're going to want to specifically state the terms of that easement with a grantor or grantee, the person or persons giving the easement, and the person or persons receiving the easement. We want to describe the tenements or the parcels included, the dominant and the servient tenements or parcels. Some of the easements I've seen have a duration or a time period. Do they expire or don't they, or they just continue permanently, right? Is there a termination of the easement? And what are the terms of the termination of the easement? The use, the purpose of the easement, you always want to describe why you're giving or receiving an easement. What is it for? Is that easement appurtenant, or is that an easement in gross? Describe the easement. Are there maintenance and improvements as part of the easements? A lot of times here in Northern Michigan, we see shared driveway or shared roadway agreements. Those typically will spell out who is in charge of maintenance and improvements on those roadways. If not, that can get pretty hairy in the future. Are there dues for that shared driveway or shared roadway? That should be described in there as well. Consideration amounts. Sometimes with the easements for ingress and egress, the person or persons giving up the easement or the servient tenement, they want some reparation for giving up that easement, right? So that would be a consideration, how much money was given for that easement. Access and exclusivity. Who does the easement belong to? Is it a public easement, private easement? Are there hours that you can or can't use that easement? Such things like that should be described in the easement itself, so to leave out any question in the future. So that's really it. Do you need to worry about easements? Usually no, they're pretty cut and dry. They're usually for either to get to and from a property, ingress or egress, or for utility purposes. There's, shared septics are another common one up here we see. But are they a cause of concern? Typically no. If you're selling your home, talk to your realtor, ask them about the easement. If you have any further questions, anytime you can ask your title agency. They will provide you copies of that easement with details of the easement itself. So that's all I got on easements. This has been Bob, the title guy, with another episode of Talking Title. Please feel free to like the video, share it with friends and family, hit the subscribe button, and as always, I will see you at the closing table.